Hi guys, today I'm going to have a video about what annoys me about Apple and has always annoyed me about Apple. I'm sure I'm going to make a lot of enemies with this video, but this is happening. So, we're going to start off with talking about how my wife had a iPhone 4. Did everything but make a phone call. Could never understand why. We called Verizon about it. It just would not ever make phone calls. Did everything but. Then we thought it was that she had a lemon, and we went out and got her the 5. Same thing. Everything but phone calls. I just don't understand what the big hype is about Apple, because if you look at all of Apple's products, they don't ever really upgrade that much. I mean, you got to go online, look at last year's model and look at this year's model. There ain't that much of a difference, I guarantee you. With Apple, you have to basically wait a few years. If you're a diehard Apple fan, my suggestion is to wait like 3 years, 4 years, probably about 3 years, and you'll get something that's actually upgraded enough that's worth your money. But like their iPhones, from the iPhone 4 to the 4S, they upgraded the camera, went from a 5 to an 8. And then you had Siri, which was cool, but never fucking works. Siri never knows what the hell you're saying. It's a cool concept, but the phones themselves look identical. I mean, it's like they just threw a new camera in and Siri and sent them damn things right back out. I mean, the phones look identical. So they didn't really change the design at all. Then you go from the 4S to the 5. There was a difference there somewhat. I mean, they made it a little thinner, a little bigger screen. I don't know, it's lighter, it's a little faster. But they changed the charging, the connector, to the lightning connector, which I'm sure that everybody that has had iPhones, iPods in the past was really happy with the connector they had. So now, you got this new connector, which I'm sure made everybody really happy. Well, you go from the 5S and 5C, they're the same fucking thing. Actually, the 5C they made out of plastic, which to me is super cheap. They're the same thing if you look at it. I mean, there's teeny little things, but... And then you got the 6 that everybody went nuts for. I mean, I heard people were camping out for like 3 fucking days for this goddamn thing. And it's funny because these people were camping out for like 3 days, and my mom and dad, they walked into a Verizon store that morning. Actually, it was not even morning, it was like noon. And they got them instantly. They got like a 60-something gig one. They had the iPhone 4 and the 5 previously, and they went and got the 6, and they had it for a few months. And you know what they told me without me saying a thing? Now, they're not into really cell phones as much as like the younger crowd, but they said, I don't really see a big difference. Without me saying a word to them. That tells you something right there. So I don't see what everybody sees in this. I mean, there isn't really a big difference in Apple products. The iPad, they're just now getting up to 8 megapixel cameras on them. They were having 5 megapixel cameras. No flash. Never understood that, why iPads don't have flash. I mean, you pay all that money for something that don't have flash and didn't even have an 8 megapixel camera. Apple has been rocking this 8 megapixel camera out for years, ever since the 4S. It is time for an upgrade, Apple. Everybody else has like 12, 16 megapixel cameras on their phones or anything. I don't understand why they're not changing that. They always say, well, it's an improved 8 megapixel camera. How many times are you going to improve an 8 megapixel camera? Just up it to a 10, 12, 16. Who cares? I don't get it. It's like Apple stays behind everybody, right, in everybody's coattails. But in the end, they are always in first because everybody camps out and buys their products up. I never understood why. I never understood the whole battery thing. I don't like how they don't want you to open it up. They don't really want you to mess with the inside of the phone, period. I mean, the battery, you're not supposed to. I know you can change it out, but you're not supposed to mess with it. The memory, the memory is already on there, and they don't want you, they don't want you opening the phone at all. I don't like that. I don't like how Apple sells their stuff and says, well, you basically got to bring it into us for anything. Because if you have a problem with the phone, we're the only ones that's supposed to open it up. And if you open it up, we're going to say that you screwed something up. I don't like that. I think they charge too much for their gigabytes. I mean, you get let's see, a 32 gig. I don't even know the price. They go all the way up to like, I don't know. One time I looked at a 64 gig. It was extremely expensive. I mean, it's cheaper to, have a different phone and go out and buy a memory card. Just plug it in. As far as, I'm not going to go into it very much, but as far as like their iPods, I mean, back in the day, if you wanted an MP3 player, Apple had them there. I mean, everybody wanted the iPod. That was the thing to have. Especially the iPod Touch was pretty cool, which they haven't upgraded the iPod Touch in a few years, which is kind of making me think they're going to discontinue it. But even with iPods, MP3 players, sorry, you go out and look at them right now, you're going to find stuff way more advanced than the iPod. I mean, they had it back in the day, the technology, but anymore it's just everybody's passed them up. And also, another thing that's annoyed me about Apple, I don't like how they advertise. I don't like the AT&T and Sprint, how they're like, oh, you can get unlimited data with the new iPhone. Only with the new iPhone. Are you kidding me? That is such, it's like Apple just shoves this shit in your face all the fucking time. And that pisses me off. Because, I don't know. It's as if they don't sell enough anyways. They gotta make it so that you get free data or unlimited data only with their iPhone. I don't get that. I don't like that. It seems shady. iTunes. iTunes. iTunes updates like every 4 hours. Every time I look at it, it seems like it says it needs updated or is updating. Never understood iTunes. I don't get why it has to be so complicated to put something on your device. I don't understand why if you don't have it on your computer, it'll suck it off your phone or tablet or whatever. That's something, I don't want to have thousands of songs or pictures or whatever on my computer sucking up all the space just to have it on my phone. I never understood that. With any other device, you plug it in, you drag your music over or whatever, and you click sync. That's it. And then if you don't want it on your computer, you delete it on the computer. You still have it on your phone or MP3 player or whatever. I never understood that. I don't like that. Basically, I'm just trying to get across. Apple's not a horrible product. It's not horrible, but they are way behind, and you have to see that. Don't run out and buy Apple products every year. Chances are you're buying the same thing you already have. If you look at, the 5S and the 6, there's not that big of a difference. You just waited outside for 3 days for shit, for nothing. My suggestion is to just look into things before you buy them. A lot of other companies, they got some really nice products out there right now. That's really killing Apple. But if you're a diehard fan, just read into it. Maybe don't buy something every year. Wait 3 years. Go out and buy the new Apple thing. Then there will be enough upgrades where it's maybe worth your money. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. And that's pretty much it for today. Bye.